Hey, what's happening, guys? Mike from MetaComix coming at you with a comic book review. Today we're going to be talking about the Multiversity issue number 1. Alright, so this is supposed to be Grant Morrison's big, epic masterpiece, so to speak. His farewell to superhero comics is what I've heard it being called. And it is a very large book, and it is very much in Grant Morrison's style. So what that means is it's going to be a very hit-and-miss book for comic book readers. Those who are used to Grant Morrison's very meta style are going to enjoy it, probably, very, very much so. Those who aren't really a huge fan will probably not like this book either. It's not going to bring in a whole lot of new readers. I'll be flat out honest and tell you right up front, I did not like this book. In fact, I didn't like it so strongly that unless the second issue is absolutely stellarly amazing, I will not be picking up the rest of the series and reviewing it. I just didn't care for it. So alright, let's talk about what it's about. Okay, so basically, mysterious monsters are threatening the existence of all creation, every Earth and every universe in existence. And this requires heroes from different various Earths in the multiverse to get together, form a group to try to stop these menaces from destroying all of creation. That's kind of the gist of the story overall that's going on, but there's lots of little layers, as people who know Grant Morrison's style are well accustomed to. One of the things that I liked a lot about the book was this idea of comic books being a window into a hero's Earth in another universe. That part was cool. I really, really liked that. It had a very sci-fi feel to it. It felt almost in spots like something Jonathan Hickman would write, although not quite as, well-grounded. And I know that's saying something for Jonathan Hickman. It just wasn't as grounded as some of his stuff. And even though Hickman kind of takes a little bit of time to get used to and to follow, he's not nearly as hard to follow as Morrison, especially in this book. There's just so much going on. There's a lot of breaking the fourth wall, but they do so through the idea of comic books being a window into other universes. So that was pretty cool and pretty interesting. I always like it when comic books or film or TV shows do that. There was like this whole little universe that had Marvel characters, basically. I mean, they weren't actual Marvel characters, but they were clearly supposed to represent characters from Marvel's books. Like, they had a giant blue baby that when he got angry, he would turn into the giant blue baby and start beating people up, which was obviously a dig at Hulk. They had like this little makeshift Avengers and a Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four knockoffs. That was kind of cute and kitsy, but people who are diehard Marvel fans, who are like really fanboy about it, will probably be ticked to see that there. There was a lot of weird characters, and that was kind of cool in some ways, but in other ways, not so much, just depending. Like Captain Carrot. I mean, you thought Rocket Raccoon was out there. Captain Carrot really, really pushes the envelope a little bit. I really liked a lot of the dialogue between the characters. I thought the dialogue was pretty good, and there was a lot of good character development. But that was pretty much it, aside from the artwork. The artwork was pretty good as well. Let me flip my notes here. Now, as far as what I didn't like, is it was extremely hard to follow. It was very confusing. You could read this thing 3 or 4 times and still have to go back and try to sort it all out. There's still stuff you'd be missing. The plot was very scattered, so it's one of those stories, it's like, okay, so a lot happens, but nothing happens at the same time. There's like a lot of things happening, but nothing to push forward an actual plot. It's kind of how I felt. Yeah, then again, there's the whole deal with the Marvel characters. It just depends on where you fall. To me, I thought it was funny, but I don't know. Some people might be offended by that, I guess. Overall, I have to give this book like a 5 out of 10. Any book that requires you to read it 5 or 6 times to understand it, that's just to understand it. That's not even to appreciate it. That's just to understand it. It's too time consuming, especially when there's other books out there that are better story-wise and require less reads to really enjoy and appreciate. So, I mean, I'm not much of a Morrison fan to begin with. I like some of his work. I liked All-Star Superman, and there's a couple other things, some of his runs on Batman that I really liked, but that's about it. He's very difficult to read. He's very frustrating to me personally when I try to read his work. So I wasn't really feeling it that much. You know, you could feel differently. That may be the kind of thing you love to read the most. So I don't know. So that's my overall score is a 5 out of 10. I'll give the second issue one shot, and if it's not that great, I'm just gonna drop reading it and reviewing it. All right, guys, that's all I got for this. I'll see you in the next one.